So our objective is to understand where these null values are coming. So before we go further, I just wanted to point out a few things. So since this is going to be a series of tasks that we are going to do, at the end of each video, what I do is I use this file export packaged workbook and I save a version of this so that you could see. For example, here there is LCP 1.2, which is the second video end. So that is the status of the file as of now. So if you want to compare, for example, if you want to understand what were the data source changes that have been made, you can come here and take a look. And if you want to understand how the hierarchy was built, here is a place to look. Yeah, this is if you want to follow along and replicate. The files are available in the student file. So this is one. The second thing is by default I clicked on inventory quantity. Normally if you have multiple products, quantity is not really summable, right? For example, something might be measured in pieces, something might be measured in kilogram, and something might be measured in volume like liters. How can we really add it up? In this case, I'm dealing with a client which works in textile, so where predominantly the measure of unit of measure is meters, but let's verify this. If I go back to the Excel here is the base unit of measure and it shows you meters, pieces and then blanks, right? These are the three values. How do we see a list like this in Tableau? A simple thing. So one option is I can just open a new report and just double click. That would give me all the three values. Empty, blank is seen as null. Other option which many people may not know is basically use this field called describe, and then if you see here at the bottom domain, it lists all these members. The nice thing about this is if you just look here, it also tells you the base, the remote column name in case you renamed. All of this is there. It gives you a little bit more of information, right? So column width and all that, which could be a little bit more useful. Yeah. So now our objective is to understand where this null is coming from. So quantity is not really a great thing. So let's replace this with number of records, right? So here number of records actually mean number of items. So let's give that a proper name for our context, number of items. So this is what we are seeing, and then we can see this is 26 records. Let's turn on the labels so we could see this. So let's sort this. So we could see this. Yeah, and let's also look at the value. So I double click on this. So value wise we could see where things are. So these null values really did not, in terms of inventory value, do not contribute to much, but still we want to understand where these values are coming from. How do we look at what these products are? One option is I can click on one of them and then use view data, the full data, which gives you row level information. As you can see, a lot of fields, important fields that are in the hierarchy are null for many of these things. 26 rows. How do we get it out? So one option is there in view data itself. We could actually use export all. This is option number one, which would basically, if I go to LCP, let's say this is one option. Let's go and see what it has exported. So here is the file that's exported. So if I open this, so this is what I see. The field values are not kept in the same order. Let's ignore that. So this is option number one. The other option is go to worksheet and then look at export, and I look at export data too. And all it is giving out is basically just the numbers. This is not what we want. So the two options, one is the view data, which actually gives us the row level information, whereas this worksheet export data, though it says data, what it does is basically it gives the numbers behind this chart, right? So it does not really export the row level underlying data as we have seen. Yeah, so that's where I'm gonna stop here. In the next one, so we want to go to the next levels of the hierarchy and see how it looks. Yeah.